to the eve of Alabama, Texas. Two story-filled programs that will take the field tomorrow. Darrell K. Royal, Texas Memorial Stadium in Austin, 11 a.m. Central Time kickoff. You got Fox Big Noon. You got ESPN College Game Day. Everybody's eyes will be on Texas. You're rocking and rolling today on a Friday TGIF edition of the show. Hottest show in these streets, talking your Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Happy you all can join us for bringing you the show from the Magic City of Birmingham, streaming it to you on YouTube. Speaking of a channel, do your thing right now. Hit that subscribe button. Smash subscribe right now. Get every friend, every family member, every diehard Bama fan, casual Bama fan, college football consumer to subscribe, because if you like the content, they will also. Be sure to also leave a like. Give us that thumbs up. Run those likes up, baby. Make this your show, your network platform, channel, and space to talk the Crimson Tide. Turn all of those post notifications on. Hit that little bell so that way you miss nothing when it comes to your Bama football. We also have you covered here on Facebook and Twitter as well. Well, John, we got a lot on the docket today, getting you the fans set up for Alabama, Texas. A little bit later on in the show, we'll be joined by Bama football legend. We're talking two-time BCS national champion, 2011 Doak Walker Award winner, and an individual that scored 2 touchdowns in the national championship game against Texas, that being one Trent Richardson, will be joining us a little bit later on to give us his perspective here on the game. But we want to hear from you guys, the passionate fans of Bama football. You can do this by calling 205-448-1358. Then want to call in to let your voice be heard, 205-448-1358. And one more time, 205-448-1358. Want to hear from you. The daily super chat goes $75. Daily super chat goal right there. Appreciate the love and support from you, the fans. But we're giving out topic number 1 here on the docket, and this goes to, for Alabama, taking on Texas this week. That being, of course, tomorrow being Saturday. Can this Alabama team get its second straight shutout, after shutting out Utah State 55-0 on last week? A lot of us went, that was Utah State. That was great. That was fun. That was cool. But that was Utah State. This is the actual really big first game of the season, marquee matchup where Alabama gets a chance to measure, okay, where are we in relation to our goal, which is, do we have a team that can play, that can compete for a national championship? And when you look at Texas, this is a group that is much improved. They've got talent, and Steve Sarkisian's second year, although it went 5-7 just a season ago. But Alabama last year, they had a few of those hostile environments, but this is the big one to open this season against Texas. And Sarkisian trying to be the third former Nick Saban assistant to beat him in this type of a matchup. But the reason for this topic, John, is on yesterday, that being Thursday, Coach Saban had his weekly radio show, and the stream for the show was kind of choppy. It kind of went in and out there. But one of the things that I got from Hey Coach and the Nick Saban show was where Coach mentioned that everybody has been speaking about Alabama being a 20-plus point favorite here against Texas. And if you look at all the big betting sites out there, whether your choice is MGM or Caesar Sportsbook or PointsBet or FanDuel or DraftKings, whatever your favorite gambling sports betting site is, most of them have Alabama as a 20-point favorite, 20.5-point favorite in those numbers right there. And Saban mentioned, you know what, the last time we went to Texas and we were a 20-plus point favorite, we got our butts kicked. And that was against Texas A&M a season ago. Now, albeit A&M only won by 3 points, 41-38, but you let Nick Saban tell it, hey, we got our butts handed to us, trying to keep his team grounded. trying to keep his team humble, trying to keep his team focused, trying to keep the team locked in on the main goal, which is execution and going out there and dominating and playing your best here against a Texas team and a Texas program. And the fan base is still wondering, okay, are we back? Are we really that Texas that we were with Vince Young? Are we really that Texas that we were with Colt McCoy prior to McCoy getting hurt in a national championship game? Are we that Texas again? That's what fans are trying to figure out. Even down to Academy Award-winning actor Matthew McConaughey is trying to figure out, are we that Texas team again that we once were, and trying to get back to that relevancy. But I think the big thing here that sticks in Alabama's hat is normally in the Nick Saban era, when the Tide defensively has been able to make an opponent one-dimensional, it's fared well. Especially if that opponent had an unbelievable, game-changing, next-level running back, and the quarterback was more so decent, average, so-so, right? So when Alabama's had that matchup, they've been able to limit the running back, keep that guy beneath his norm, beneath his usual, and they force the quarterback, hey, you beat us. We're going to disguise our coverage and make you read what we're showing you, and then we're going to pressure you, whether it's blitzes, whether it's getting folks straight up in your face, in your grill, knocking balls to the ground and getting sacks on you, but we're making you, as the quarterback, beat us. And 9 times out of 10, when Alabama's had that recipe under Nick Saban, it's been successful. The only time it has not been is the opposition just has this next level, big play, oh my gosh, wow type of quarterback, i.e. Deshaun Watson, Trevor Lawrence at Clemson, i.e. Cam Newton at Auburn, 2010 Iron Bowl, i.e. if you want to throw Tim Tebow out there, Florida, 2008 SEC Championship game, you can do that also. Now, I know a lot of people would say, well, Steven, what about Steven Garcia at South Carolina, 2010? Look, Marcus Lattimore had over 100 yards rushing that game also. So the running back did his thing, which allowed Steven Garcia to do his thing. Now, some people will say, well, Steven, what about the 2014 Sugar Bowl between Alabama and Ohio State? Look, Ezekiel Elliott ran over everybody, and that allowed Cardale Jones to do his thing. So when Alabama's had an opportunity to limit the big play running back from his norm and force the quarterback that may be decent, so-so, hey, you beat us, a lot of times the Tide has been highly successful. And they face this opportunity or this window on Saturday because Bijan Robinson is the next level game-changing running back. I mean, this past season, 1,127 yards rushing, 11 touchdowns, averaged 112.7 yards per game, 4 touchdown receptions. Steve Sarkisian is going to find every single matchup he can to get Robinson the football, and Robinson's looking to go off in this game. And then you got Quinn Ewers, very talented, very, very talented, but still a freshman. Transfer in here from Ohio State. Last week, his first game was against Louisiana Monroe. Good first game, but Monroe doesn't have the same type of defensive creatures like Will Anderson, Dallas Turner, Chris Braswell, and others like Alabama has on this roster. So Nick Saban's going to look to disguise some things, and Quinn Ewers is going to hope to be able to read those things being disguised. But typically, this is the matchup that Alabama has the most success against. Taking the game-changing running back out of his element and forcing the quarterback, the young quarterback, hey, you beat us. You beat us with your arm talent, your decision-making, with your playmaking skills, your smarts. You beat us. And here is the matchup here for the Crimson Tide going up against Texas. And John, I'm excited about this matchup. I really am. You got the heat in this game. You've got a whole bunch of media in this matchup. You got Steve Sarkisian matching wits here with Coach Saban. You got talent here on both sides of the ball. This is the highly anticipated game to this point. right? Because Texas is going to be challenged. Alabama's going to be challenged. Hydration is going to be a big part of this game for the Crimson Tide. Can it get that second shutout victory and really put in the minds of national media, okay, this Bama defense is for real? We know offensively what they got with Bryce Young and Jahmyr Gibbs and playmakers at wide receiver. But is this defense for real, for real? You're able to shut out Texas in Austin. A lot of the national talking heads are going to go, okay, this defense with Pete Golding as the coordinator is for real, for real. But it's going to be fun to watch this take place on tomorrow. Folks, we're going to take our first break here on the show on Touch That Down on a free-for-all Friday. When we get back, we go on the phone lines, we grab your calls, your thoughts, your conversations, a dialogue with you, the fans. Coming right after this.
You're watching In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith, brought to you by We Own the Fourth Quarter. Get your four-finger bling necklace today by visiting weownthefourthquarter.com. Throw them foes up.
Look at all these great players in Touchdown Alabama magazine. Man, wait till I turn up this year. I'm gonna be on the front cover. But what if Will goes off? Or Joe, DeMarco, Chris, Tim, Christian.
Don't wait. Order now at touchdownalabama.com or call 833-483-2624 today.
Christian or Jameer.
Remember the taste of Grandma's delicious sweets? Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes brings back those precious memories with just one bite. Each cake made from scratch. They make the perfect dessert to share with family and friends for any occasion, and ordering is easy. Visit emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Click the online store and shop. Then pick up your fresh cake at the kitchen in downtown Homewood. Order yours online at emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes, making memories from scratch.
All right, baby, it's Friday, TGIF edition of the show. Hottest show on the streets, talking your Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama magazine, on the eve of Texas Bama, taking place tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central Time from Texas, Austin, that being Darrell K. Royal, Texas Memorial Stadium here. Nick Saban, Steve Sarkisian. We're going to get to these super chats right now. How about X-Wing Sports with that $4.99 in the super chats? Appreciate X-Wing helping us out right there, dancing, Steve, and doing his thing there. My man Bill, Big Bill from New York with that 506 in the super chats. Appreciate Big Bill. Then we got Cinnaminson 06. Cinnaminson 06 with that $5 donation. Sharing love there in the bucket. Appreciate all of you making the Shore Show your network platform channel to talk Crimson Tide. And we go to the phone lines right now to grab your calls. The call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang, 205-448-1358. Number to call in, 205-448-1358. You're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from. You're live on the show, caller. Unfortunately, may have lost that call there, but we take this call right here. You're live on the show. What's going on? State your name. Where you calling from?
What's going on, Stephen M? This is Tide Man from Jackson, Mississippi. How you doing, brother?
Doing great, Tide Man. And yourself?
Yes, sir. Listen, for some reason, I cannot hear you, so I'll just make my comments and then hang up, brother. But the first comment I wanted to make is props to you for handling our former great Bama legend Marvin Constant the other night. He had me cracking up, brother. I don't know what his deal was, man, but you were very, very patient with him, and I know he was just trying to maybe keep us from buying into the rat poison and all that. But man, he sure did seem to be negative about our performance against Utah State. But you play who you play, right? Nick Saban always says, you don't play to the competition, you play to the Bama standard. And I think that's what Brother Marvin Constant was missing, man, that we went matched up against Utah State and we played to our standard, and we came away, got a lot to learn, got a lot to work on, but what more can you do, man? And then one last comment before I hang up. I hear all these Texas fans, and even Mac Brown apparently was still making excuses about the national championship when we beat them, and they were saying it's all because Colt McCoy went out. Apparently even Mac Brown said if Colt McCoy had stayed in the game, they would have won easily. Well, let me tell you something. I guess it's true that everything's bigger in Texas, and I guess that includes excuses. Hey, roll Tide, brother. Keep on doing what you're doing, man.
Absolutely. Appreciate Todd, man, checking in there from Mississippi. I know, gentlemen, we got everything going here with the mic, so we're good. We're good. We're going to go with this call here. You're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Stephen, I'll tell you what, it's Friday night. I understand what Marvin's saying. 1999, I went to a lot of those ball games. They were still playing at Legion Field. I loved to watch them play, him and Sean Alexander and Chris Samuels and Zao and all those guys. They had a heck of a football team. And they should have won the national championship that year. But anyway, it's been 100 years since we played Texas in Austin. It was October 28, 1922. Coach Bryant had to struggle with them what few times he played with them. Got beat. He got beat. Most everybody got beat till we played them. And Nick beat them. We beat them out in California. I was at that game, and that was a great celebration. But win, lose, or draw tomorrow, we're going to be with the Tide no matter what, the greatest college team in history. I don't care what Mad Dog Russo says. We're the best of the best, and that's just the way it is. And I think they'll take care of business tomorrow, and we'll bring home a victory. No injuries. I don't care if we win by 1 point. As long as we don't get nobody hurt, I ain't worried about no AC in the locker room. I hate it for the band, and don't do the horns down sign. I love everybody. I see everybody in the chat. There's so many of you. It's hard for me to comment. I love all of you. Blue Ranch gang. All y'all make this show do what it does. Number one show on the streets. Hottest show on the street. Number one show on YouTube. I love all y'all. Be safe. Y'all enjoy your Saturday football. Stephen, y'all stay safe, and we'll see everybody tomorrow. Maybe on the watch. I love all y'all. Bye-bye, everyone.
Appreciate the President Waylon calling in here on a Friday. And, Marvin Constant on the Bama Senate, Marvin makes some good points. And I feel like when you played in the era that Marvin played in the 90s, it was more so that hardcore physical football. And there's still some of that now, even though offenses have more so changed and dictated how the game is being played. But I feel like at the end of the day, even though, yes, it was Utah State, that the point being, you got to be able to execute to what you want to do. And Alabama wanted to go out there and be physical against Utah State and come away with that shutout win, which it did. Now you're going up against a team like Texas, who has a little bit more talent, who has a little bit more playmakers, who has an offensive-minded wizardry of a coach in Steve Sarkisian. And now you have a chance to really go up against a team that recruits at the same power as you do. So now you really get a chance, okay, where are we? Are we as good as we believe? Are we as good as we think? Are we as good as we claim that we are? So here's the matchup here for Alabama that I am definitely looking forward to. But another thing I'm looking forward to, John, NFL season, pro football, baby. The NFL season started on yesterday, but Sunday we're going to have some big games, and they're going to be featuring some former Alabama quarterbacks, Mac Jones of the Patriots, Tua Tagovailoa of those Dolphins, Jalen Hurts of the Eagles. All three will be playing this weekend, and that's going to be fantastic. All three named team captains. They earned it for Tua and Mac. First time for both of those two. For Jalen Hurts, I believe the second time he has earned team captain honors. And you as Bama Nation expect big things from all three of these guys. There's been so much criticism being hurled at Tua. He doesn't have the arm talent. He doesn't have the wiggle. He doesn't have this. He doesn't have that. Well, this whole offseason, he's put it together. So we're looking forward to seeing what he does. There's been a lot of criticism at Jalen Hurts. Is he really the guy? Is he really the leader? Is he really what Philadelphia needs? He has brought the Eagle culture together. Nick Sirianni seems to really like what he provides as a quarterback, and we're going to just look at that. And then Mac Jones, the only thing with Mac, Bill Belichick, please, Belichick, get this man some more receivers. That's all he needs. I like Kendrick Bourne. I like Jacoby Myers. Devontae Parker. Can he be Devontae Parker of old? Hey, we'll see. Please, Belichick, begging you, get Mac 10 some receivers. But looking forward to watching all three former Bama quarterbacks here in the NFL starting this Sunday. But we go to a break right here, folks. Don't touch that dial, because when we return, we sit down with the Bama legend, two-time national championship running back Trent Richardson joins the show right after this.
You know what we do at the start of the fourth quarter. We throw them foes up. But now you don't have to wait until the fourth quarter. Get your four-finger bling necklace at weownthefourthquarter.com. It's the first and only logo that captures the essence of all Crimson Tide players and fans as we represent the legendary Alabama football fourth quarter dominance. Get your four-finger bling necklace right now at weownthefourthquarter.com. Get yours today and stun on them haters. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
What's up, Bama Nation? This is Rudy Griffin, former Alabama defensive lineman, and you're listening to my guy, Stephen M. Smith, in my own words, brought to you by Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Roll Tide, roll!
Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
All right, folks, we're back in here kicking it with you to the action from the break. Hottest show in the streets, covering your Crimson Tide. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. We got Crimson Tide. We got Texas Longhorns tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central Time kickoff from Darrell K. Royal, Texas Memorial Stadium in Austin. A lot of media going to be down there. A lot of action going on. Alabama trying to get that second shutout victory of the season. And I'm pumped up for it myself as we await on the man Trent Richardson to get to join us here. John, I guess the most popular conversation leading into this game is the whole horns down sign, the whole horns down signal right there. I remember, I think it was Wednesday, at Coach Saban's press conference, one of the reporters directed Saban a question about has he addressed the team about the horns down, horns down sign, the horns down, celebration thing there, and making sure the team is aware that if anybody on the play, if any player does that in a taunting manner, Alabama could get hit with a 15-yard penalty. And Saban's like, well, no, I have not heard about that, but I will address that to the team. I thank you for feeding me this tip of information, though there are other things that we need to be worried about, but I appreciate you for feeding me the information. But it seems like we got the man on the phone line. So we go over now to the In My Own Words hotline. We bring on a living legend, bad man. Living legend, two-time BCS national champion, 2009 and 2011. We're talking about the brother who had 2 rushing touchdowns in the national championship game against Texas. We got Trent Richardson in the building. Brother man, what's happening with you?
What's going on, man? How y'all doing?
We're doing great, Trent. Happy to have you in here. If you're just checking out the show, we got Trent Richardson live here in my own words hotline talking Bama, Texas. So, Trent, you being former running back, knowing this position the way you do and playing it the way you played at Alabama, looking at this matchup here against Texas, what do you want to see, or what do you look forward to seeing here from this run game when you talk about the backs that Alabama has, the Jahmyr Gibbs, the Jace McClellans, with this offensive line? What do you want to see from this run game here against Texas?
I mean, for real, man, you really want to see, when you talk about a big game like this, you want to see those backs play bully ball. And when it comes down to it, they got to play smash mouth, downhill football like we do in the South, as always. And as we play teams like that, man, there's quick guys, smaller guys, you got to come at them and play bully football, especially in the run game.
Absolutely, you got to do that, and just for you, I mean, how much pride does Alabama take in being able to just wear teams down? Because I remember when you guys played, y'all took pride in, we're going to hit you 3 yards of pop here, 4 yards of pop here, 5 yards of pop there. So how much pride do you want to see this group take in making sure that they're wearing down Texas on Saturday?
Man, we take a lot of pride in that, man, because I remember when me and Mark was back there, and when Mark went out there first, man, he was telling me, like, hey, let's go, let's win this thing, man. Them guys are not, what they say they were, and they talk a lot of mess, but hey, at the end of the day, we got to play our ball, and so we love to take people wheel, man, and we can do that, and we can bag them up, we can get them scared up front, we can take them down, and we can run down their throat, man. It's sky's the limit on what kind of football that is going to be played there Saturday.
Speaking of taking people's wheels, Trent, you look at the defense Alabama had at that time when you played. Guys like Rolando McClain and Terrence Cody and Donta Hightower, they believed in snatching your soul out your chest. Mark Barron, you can throw him in there as well in that conversation. When you look at this defense, excuse me, you got some guys that have that same mentality. Will Anderson, Dallas Turner, they got that snatch your soul out your chest mentality. So for this defense, going up against Texas, what do you want to see from that area of the ball, trying to frustrate Texas, create some turnovers? What do you want to see from this defense here?
Well, the same thing. They got to come in and I hate to kind of compare teams, man, but, Will Anderson and them guys, I feel like there's a couple of those guys that could have actually played with that 2009 defense. And so when you got a defense like that, man, we was able to be, they was bigger and they was faster. And so, when teams try to spread us out, man, we was able to, get to that quarterback, and we got to him early, and we knocked Cole out the game. And then, we wasn't prepared for the second string guy, Blaine, but we still, managed to, pull off the win, man, and we was able to, just play by our rules, man, as we do in our traditional everyday life at Alabama.
If you're just checking out the show here on a Friday, we're joined by Trent Richardson, two-time national championship running back for your Crimson Tide, talking about this Texas matchup coming up here on Saturday. So, Trent, as we look at here your matchup in that BCS title game at the Rose Bowl, Pasadena, California, what made that just special? Being on the field, being in that environment, you're looking to bring Bama that first title since '92 in Saban's third year at the program. What made that game against Texas, that moment, so magical for you?
Oh, man, it was a lot, man, for me. Bringing a championship back, we ain't won since '92. We haven't been in that game since '92. And then, me, Texas was the college I wanted to go to growing up. When I was young, I used to love Ricky Williams, Earl Campbell. Vince Young was my favorite college football player ever. He was at the game. There was a lot of guys that was in that national championship game that they played USC was at the game. And so for me, man, it was a historic moment for me, man. And to be playing in Pasadena at the Rose Bowl, which we know Texas at that point owned the Rose Bowl. So, we just went in there, man, and we just played ball, man, and we had a fun time doing it. And if you actually look back at the game, and one thing I respect about my coach, Coach Burton Burns, he said, man, we left a lot of football out there. We still left a lot of football out there. As good as we played, it still could have been more yards. It still could have been, more to that score if we would have, if we didn't, play our worst. We actually played our worst game of the season for real But, not to take anything from Texas, but, on our end, we just didn't play our best game, but we still played a great game.
If you're just checking out the show, we got Trent Richardson here, two-time national champion for your Crimson Tide, talking Bama, Texas. So, Trent, we actually got a great question from the fans here in the chat. Our guy Spencer, he writes in, do you think Alabama has improved enough to get back to that smash-mouth football with this team? Has it improved enough to do that, Trent, in your opinion?
No, I don't know just yet, man. We'll see. I think at the end of the season they kind of got back to it last year when they ran my guy Robertson a lot more. But I think, if they, when they do and if they do this game right here, this is the game to do it. And they definitely got to run heavy, at least keep it balanced. And I think this is a game, to prove a point early in the season, capitalize on the offense to let them know that, hey, we're not just going to be able to pass the ball. We can throw the ball too. And we can play this smash-mouth football.
Smash-mouth football, aim of the game when Trent Richardson was playing for the Crimson Tide, and hopefully it'll be the aim on Saturday against Texas in Austin. We're joined here by Trent Richardson, two-time national champion for your Crimson Tide, 2009 and 2011. Trent, we appreciate you taking time to be with us here on a Friday, giving us some memories of your time playing against Texas in that championship game and your thoughts entering this matchup. You have a great one, my man. We appreciate you. Take care of yourself, brother.
Yes, sir, man. Roll Tide, y'all.
Absolutely. Trent Richardson joined us here on the show talking Bama, Texas. That was a great matchup that they were into. I mean, Pasadena, California. I mean, that was beautiful. 37-21 was the final score in that matchup back in 2010 to end the 2009 season. But how will this game end? How will this game look coming up on Saturday? Remains to be seen. We take a break right here, folks. We'll touch that down. When we get back, we return to the phone lines. We grab your calls, your thoughts, your conversations right after this.
Don't touch that dial. Call in right now as we're taking your calls up next on In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith. Brought to you by We Own the Fourth Quarter. Visit WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com now to get your four-finger bling necklace.
Chris Rogers, 2009 national champion. You are listening to the baddest, when I say the baddest, sports show in the state of Alabama. In my own words, yours truly, Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Don't touch that dial.
Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care. In support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99 and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to WhitwellSports.com and get your Title Towel today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
All right, people, we're back into the action from the break. Hottest show on the streets, talking your Bama football. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith, Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Appreciate the man, Trent Richardson, two-time BCS national champion, joining us in that recent segment of breaking down or giving us his thoughts of the matchup this weekend between the Crimson Tide and the Longhorns. But right now, we go to the phone lines to take your calls. The call segment's brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang, 205-448-1358. Number to call in, 205-448-1358. We grab this call. You're live on the show. How we feeling tonight? State your name and where you calling from.
Stephen M. Smith. This is your boy, Coach Smoot from Phoenix City, Alabama, man. What's going on, brother?
Doing great, my man. How we feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm honestly I don't know if it's just because I'm getting older and I've seen this cycle a couple of times, couple 15, 20 times over my life. But this just having college football back, especially after going through 2020, is just a blessing, man. And the excitement around this game is just another level of being a fan of college football, not just college football, but football in general. Central plays Opelika tonight. Central Phoenix City plays Opelika High School tonight. Big game tonight. It actually just kicked off, so I'm amped up to, follow that and everything. But this game tomorrow, Steven, I honestly believe we see probably our defensive front's best game of the season. And I mean, I say that because I don't believe Saban or Pete Golden want to put this on our secondary to carry us through this game. I don't think we put that pressure on the secondary, even though I believe we have the athletic ability and the skills there for those guys to be put on those islands. I don't think we're confident enough yet because of the battle we have going on. And that might not be a bad thing, Steven. If it does get forced to that, I think that works out in our favor. We get to see our guys really who's ready to come out, and we get to solidify who's going to be those top two guys. That's a great thing. But I don't think Saban wants the chance that being as how things were affected last year. And you look at a lot of those guys that are starting out there, they're guys who were the key components to that secondary last year. And we saw a lot of bad habits in that group last year. And I don't think we won't see T-Rob's impact immediately. I think we'll see some small things, being able to track the ball a little bit better or being more aggressive on tracking the ball. But I don't think we won't see the effect of T-Rob's impact this year. We probably see it next year. I think we see a full-blown effect of T-Rob's coaching and how he's bringing his strategies and his techniques and instilling them into our secondary. But I think our front seven has a crazy, crazy game on tomorrow. And I love how the media is just, hyping this early kickoff time up. I don't think they realize, Alabama, when we have home games, 3 o'clock home games, I don't think they realize our guys are up at 8:30, going through meetings, going through walkthroughs. They have these new locker rooms where they're set up to where they're not up on their feet the whole time. They have film study within their lockers. It's the level of preparation that goes into prepping that for an Alabama game is not like other schools, And I've been fortunate enough to take players on college visits to, a few D1 AA schools, a lot of JUCOs. I coach at a smaller school, so we get a lot of D2 offers, JUCO offers, and they get to see those facilities, and they think they've seen something. But those passing camps that we go to, those 7-on-7 camps that we go to at the big universities, when they get to take those tours, those guys get to see the different levels of just the facilities that's afforded to these students. So I don't think we're going to have a problem getting up for this game. When you talk about the stuff behind the scenes, these guys are locked in. 95% of this team feels like that we have something to prove. And I feel like the only guys that don't feel like that are the guys who are just coming into and buying into the process. They don't even have an idea what they're buying into. They're setting the tone for the next 2 to 3 years they're going to be at Alabama. And that's what I love about this group. And this next signing class, the level of competition that they're talking about and projecting through their tweets and, trying to recruit other talent in the same position to come to Alabama. Anytime you see that, that's a dangerous sign of just, okay, we know we about to be better. Kind of like that Miami 01 team. Everybody remember when that team was getting put together, when they was coming in as freshmen. Everybody remember all those guys coming together, man. And they knew that those guys were going to be a problem. I feel like we're headed towards that. But starting this Saturday, all the doubt that we have in our O-line, that defense, I think it gets quieted a little bit more. And honestly, Steven, my score prediction, I'm going to say this and I'm going to get off. People going to think I'm crazy. People think we're going to give up points because we in Texas. We playing an away game. It's because of all that crowd noise. It only affects you for so much, man. These boys are locked in. They played in front of 100,000 fans last week, yelling in their own stadium. So I don't see it being a letdown. Texas Heat is not worse than the Alabama Heat. I've been in both. I've been to Afghanistan. I've been to Kuwait. Our humid heat down here in the Southeast is different, even worse than Florida and Louisiana. So that's not going to be an issue. But, Steven, 48-10. I give them a touchdown. I give them touchdown and field goal, and that's it, Steven. I feel like, and it's going to be late. It's going to be late. It might be against our second group. And they may get some off of a crappy special teams play. Something sneaky is going to happen to where it's going to put them in good position, and they have no choice but to maybe get 3, or they may capitalize one possession of offense. That's it, Steven. I just see our defense being on another level and being locked in. And we all know Bryce Young in that offense, that O-line is going to be way more physical and more dominant in the trenches. And we're gonna take over this game, Steven. So y'all be easy, man. I'm ready. I'm pumped up. Hey, everybody in the chat, don't forget tomorrow, game day chat. We going live, man. Y'all check it out, TDA. We're going to be live. I'm going to be in that thing the whole game. I couldn't have no good signal last week. So I'm going to be there this week, Steven. But roll tide, everybody. Catch y'all later. See y'all tomorrow at the game. Roll tide. We out, baby.
Appreciate Coach Smoke starting us off here. In that second call segment, we take this call. Here you're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from?
Ethan, Bill from New York. What's up, man?
Doing great, my man. Tomorrow we got Bama, Texas. I'm ready to roll here.
Yeah, me too. And, really ready. And I got to tell you, I agree with Trent when he was talking about, I heard the word smash mouth. That's exactly what I want. That's exactly what we need. Steven, what's the name of this running back I'm hearing so much about from Texas?
Bijan Robinson.
Well, let me tell you something. He's running behind 2 freshmen, and I don't know the quality of the other 3 guys they had there. But what I'm saying, we're going to knock him out of his shoes. We're going to make him wish, oh, my God, where am I? Who am I playing? We're going to knock him right out of his shoes, put him on his behind. And that's what we're going to do. We got guys like my man 92. I'm so excited about him because I'm not going to lie to you. It didn't thrill me last year. I thought he was good. But, man, he showed me a lot in that first game. And if he can keep it up with these linebackers we have, I just wanted more up front, and it looks like he's going to give it to us, And as far as their other offensive guys, Steven, like Hall, I ain't worried about him. I'll tell you the truth, I would have been more concerned about Billingsley. Billingsley at least showed us something on the field in real games while he was here. That guy didn't, Hall. You know what I mean? And our safeties between Branch, oh my God, and just you know how bad we're gonna crush that fool. We're gonna listen. Hall is the least of my worries. I ain't worried about him. You know what I mean? Anyway, like as always, great to talk to you. You know what I mean? Like I'm ready. I'm feeling better. I got my shirts lined. I'm all set for tomorrow, Steven. All right. God bless. Roll Tide.
Gotta love Bill. Gotta love Bill from New York calling. He got me pumped up even more right now. We take this call. You're live on the show. What's going on? How are you feeling? State your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, I love that call too there, Steven. Roll Tide, brother.
How are we feeling, William?
I'm feeling great, man. I'm ready for this to happen tomorrow. I like that word smash mouth too. I hope to see that on our defense and on our offense line there. I hope they just run it down our throat.
Oh, absolutely. I want to see the offensive line, get a little bit more confidence there. I want to see the defensive line, get some sacks and stuff, Bijan Robinson, and just put on the national stage. But Alabama is not joking around this year because going back to last season, people looked at, Saban got beat by Jimbo Fisher. Ooh, and Saban got beat by Kirby Smart. Ooh, the chinks are in the armor. So I would like to see Alabama take this game and on the national stage show, Bama's still nothing to be played with.
That's right. Speaking of last week's game, and I know Coach played a lot of players. I mean, he played a lot from the, not just the main one, but he played some of the other teams too. I just wondering, out of all that, did we happen to have any kind of injuries that should be noted, or do you know?
No injuries, William, came from any of those players. And then the one player that didn't play last week, Cameron Latu, senior tight end, he will play this week against Texas. So Latu was the small injury that happened in fall camp, and he'll be back for Texas.
All right, man. Anxious to see him play again. I like that kid a lot there. Anyway, Roll Tide, brother. Let somebody else on.
Absolutely. Appreciate my man William from Iowa calling in there. We grab this call. What's going on? You're live on the show. State your name and where you calling from.
What's going on, Steve? Elijah from Jersey. How you feeling tonight?
Doing great, my man. We got Bama, Texas tomorrow. How we feeling?
Man, I'm doing good. Hey, I've been hearing a little chit-chatter about that early start, 11 a.m. start and things like that. I don't think that affects anything. When you a baller, Steve, man, you'll play at midnight. You'll play at 2 o'clock in the morning. You'll play at 8 o'clock in the morning. When you play football, it don't matter what time the game start. You ready to go, you locked and you loaded. But I want to touch on, I like the way this coaching staff is how the competition is going this year, how they're rotating a lot of guys in, and nobody's a definite starter yet. I like how that corner competition is going. I like how the defensive line is all rotating in. To me, that takes away being complacent. You know what I mean? And I think everybody's on their P's and Q's because you don't know who's going to start. You don't know who's going to get the first reps or the second reps. I just like the way these guys are just being rotated in, and the only way you're going to be named a true starter is by your play on the field. And I think that's a great idea, especially like in this cornerback competition. Nobody's named the true starters just yet. You know, it's still competition going. I look on the defensive line, they get a lot of guys rotating. They're trying to find the best combination, the best three guys up front. Otis, he looked like he definitely could be one, but the coaches ain't sitting back saying, we're just going to name you the starter off of Utah State's game. You know what I mean? The coaching staff pretty much know we were way more talented than Utah State, but they know this Texas game is going to separate on our team the men from the boys, who's ready compared to who still needs a little bit of work. And I just like the fact that a lot of these guys is getting a chance to prove themselves, to show where they're at, and I think that's important because we all know when some guys get named the starter, they get complacent. They sit there, I'm the starter on this team, I'm good to go. And that's just not with Alabama. That's anywhere in all aspects of life, when people are named just the starters. I believe the way these coaches staff, especially with the secondary position, but even up front, these guys, they're earning their keep, man. They have to show and prove in order to be among that first team. And I just think it'll keep our guys hungry. I think they'll be even hungrier to prove what they have to offer. And I just think it's good competition to keep everybody on their P's and Q's. Let me know how you feel about that, Steve. Thanks again for taking my call, bro.
Absolutely. Elijah, I agree with that. And it's not just in the secondary on the defensive line, but you look at Alabama's rotating these linebackers in. Think about that. Chris Braswell's getting rotated in. You look at Kendrick Blackshire is getting rotated in. Deontay Lawson is getting rotated in. So it's not just the defensive line and the secondary, but even the linebackers. You're seeing these young guys at linebacker get these very valuable reps, getting this very valuable experience to help them in the long term as well. And this was something that U.S. fans want to see more of last year, is more guys being rotated, not only on defense, but on offense too. Having that deep rotation, getting guys worked in. We saw against Utah State last week, you had young receivers getting rotated in, getting that opportunity. You had running backs getting rotated in there. So having more guys play, getting more reps, more opportunities to see what your specific skill set is, that is a big deal. That's really cool there. Gotta give a shout out to my man Jimmy the Bad Man Clay, who came in here with a $55 donation and a $19 donation. Jimmy Cashman Clay getting that daily super chat goal of $75 met right there. Appreciate him. We take this call here. You're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Steve, what's up with you, man? This your boy Jay from Sheffield.
Jay is in here, baby. What's going on, man?
Making it, man. Man, we need to see it tomorrow, don't we?
We need to see it tomorrow, Jay, from all angles, from all angles.
All angles, but my it is right there in that middle, dog. Right there where them 300-pounders reside. We need to see some movement, man. And I'm talking about earthquake movement. We need to see people on their backs, man. We need to see folks getting bowled over. It look like you just doing what you want out there to these folks, man, on both sides of the ball. Is that too much, man?
It's not too much, Jay. No, of course not. No.
I mean, hopefully now, Bill O'Brien be real creative. We know you got 4 running backs, and we know you got 15,000 receivers. It ain't no reason, dog, that you should even, this game, other than 0-0, that should be the closest it should ever be all game. 0-0. 7-0, 14-0, because we need another 55-0. Go and make a statement, and the next generation of Texas fans and little Texans, and they can go and come on to Bama. Roll Tide, Brockemeyer brothers. But that, man, roll Tide, man. I love y'all.
Appreciate my man Jay from Sheffield calling in, as always, keeping it the way it is. Wanting to see domination on both sides of the ball, like we all do. We all want to see Alabama dominate on both sides of the ball, no matter who they play, but especially this week here against Texas, that game on tomorrow. No call topic here, Cameron Latu. It's not new news, but for those of you who have not heard it, Latu will play Saturday against Texas. He had a small tweaked knee during fall camp, missed some time there, missed some practice time there, came back in the latter portion of fall camp, got some work in, didn't practice much, which is the reason why Saban held him out of the first week matchup against Utah State, though he did go through pregame warmups. This week, Latu practiced the entire week, looked really good, knee looked strong, 100%. So Saban said, hey, we're going to have him out here in this game. This will be his first matchup of the season. So it's going to be great to have Latu back, catching passes from Bryce Young, running routes, blocking in the run game. Great to have the redshirt senior back here for Alabama football. But we take our final break here on the show. Don't touch that dial, just getting started, or continuing the conversation. When we get back to wrap things up, we look at the cornerback position for Bama. Is this the week where 2 corners finally do enough? Or does somebody separate themselves to where Saban can finally name 2 starting corners? We'll wrap it up with that after this.
If you're an avid Alabama Crimson Tide fan and you love to flaunt it, then show your Alabama Crimson Tide support by grabbing the All-Bama sneakers. They feature bold Crimson Tide graphics, so no one will be able to question where your allegiance lies. When you add these sweet sneakers to your Alabama Crimson Tide collection, go to stsfootwear.com and use the code TDAlabama for $15 off your purchase. That's code TDAlabama for $15 off your purchase. Go to stsfootwear.com and get your All-Bama sneakers today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
All right, people, we're back in here from the break to the action. Talking your Crimson Tide football in my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine on a Friday. People, don't forget, tomorrow you got the TDA watch party and the post-game show on tomorrow. Don't forget, get into the watch party. Get in the post-game show, taking your calls, chat with all of your Bama fans, all of your Bama friends, and then also we got my guys, Justin Smith and John Ivory all day long in the watch party and the post-game show. Check that out tomorrow. PDA YouTube channel. Get in there. Get into all the action. Also, don't forget about TDAwear.com either. TDAwear.com. We got your swagger, sauce, drip, clothing, cultural fashion needs right here. The link is in the description. Make us your number one stop shop, your number one place here to get your Crimson Tide gear to cheer on Bama. That's TDAwear.com. Once again, TDAwear.com. Continue to support Coach Saban, the University of Alabama, the student athletes, and us here at Touchdown Alabama Magazine. But now we lay out here the final topic of conversation, that being the cornerback competition for Alabama. Coach Saban mentioned on Thursday, well, not on Thursday, but on Wednesday, he is not ready to shut the book on the cornerback battle. He's not ready to name the starters just yet at that position. He wants to see a little bit more from this four-man fight between Kool-Aid McKinstry, Terrion Arnold, Kyrie Jackson, and Eli Ricks. He wants to see a little bit more from those four before making a definite decision on, okay, who's starting here. So last week, all four guys did some good things. Eli Ricks is trying to knock some rust off. Kyrie Jackson, took his man and tackled his teammate and a heck of a football play last week. Kool-Aid McKinstry's been the most consistent corner from spring ball to summer workouts, fall camp, and now we're in the regular season. And then you've got Terrion Arnold, who surged completely all the way through fall camp, really impressing Coach Saban and the staff to earn that first look there against Utah State. So all four guys are still battling. All four guys are still trying to make their way here. But what's going to be great about this game is Quinn Ewers, freshman quarterback for Texas, if he has time to throw the football, will try to test the secondary. He will test this group. He will push the ball downfield. He will stretch the ball deep. Coach Saban talked about Ewers, very talented quarterback. He will try to pick apart or try to isolate the secondary if he's given time. I don't think he'll be given that much time because when you got Will Anderson, Dallas Turner, and others coming for your neck and soul, you may not have that much time. Let's be honest about that thing. But if he has a little bit of time, he will look to go after this Alabama secondary. And maybe if there's a situation where this group really locks in with the coaching of Travaris Robinson and keeps the Texas receiver core at bay, taking away all of the big play opportunities, then maybe after this game we could see Coach Saban finally say, okay, that's the starter and you're the starter on the opposite side. But right now he wants to see a little bit more, and U.S. fans, you want to see a little bit more of, okay, who are my two true real dogs at that corner position? Now, who are my two true real guys? Is it Kool-Aid McKinstry? Is it Eli Ricks? Is it Kyrie Jackson? Is it Terrion Arnold? Who are my two true real dudes out there? So Texas, this game will show us something, especially with the way that Steve Sarkisian likes to mix and match things up. This game will show us a little something. So I will have my eyes, John, tuned in tomorrow, especially the corner. So Coach Saban looking to see, is this the week where he can name two starting corners, or does the competition continue until the SEC slate comes in? But as always, Bama Nation, you want the best in news, notes, information, material, entertainment on your favorite program. You can get this by accessing the Touchdown Alabama Magazine app. Now, you download the app from the iPhone App Store if you're rocking Team Apple, Google Play Store if you got the Android phone. Now, for your audio needs, check us out, iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, Overcast.fm or iHeartRadio, we got you covered. If the good and gracious Lord sees fit, I shall return on Monday, continuing the conversation that is Tide football. Remember, Bama fans, you can purchase individual copies of Touchdown Alabama magazine. Have those sent directly to your door. That link found in the description. Also, you're trying to get the fresh edition, print edition of TDA the magazine, you go to touchdownalabama.com, you click join, become a member or a subscriber today. That link in the description. And if you're trying to get your hands on the 4-finger bling necklace, 4-finger bling jewelry, courtesy of our guys that we own, thefourthquarter.com, that link in the description too. But guys, shout out my man Trent Richardson coming on the show tonight, giving us his perspective on the Alabama-Texas matchup. It was great to hear from Trent, and it was great to hear from you, the passionate fans of Alabama football. Appreciate all that you do, making this your show, your network, platform, channel, and space to talk Bama. Also, got to give it up for my man John Ivory in the production studio, handling the ones and twos behind the scenes, making this show what it is. And until next time, folks, husbands, love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands. Children, y'all know what to do. Doing the right thing, good thing, fun thing, smart thing, legitimate thing, to not be bored as the weekend is in session here. Get you those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. You protect yourself. You protect the loved ones around you. Enjoy the matchup tomorrow. Bama, Texas, get in. But TDA, watch, party, and the post-game show tomorrow. Until next time, folks, I'm your man, Stephen M. Smith, and you've been listening to In My Own Words.